What up, E90XI? Oh shit, a lot of people joining. What's up, guys? I'll be on until my phone dies. I'm at 10%, so ask me anything you need help with N52, and I'll help you out. What's up, Stanley? Loki hating, what's up? Ahmed, what up? Trey, what's good? Nicholas. Dang, I wasn't expecting so many people to join. How does the remote tune work? Do you just remote control it PC? So if you go on my YouTube, Raymond N52, I just posted a video an hour ago, and it shows step-by-step how to do the remote tune. We don't remote control it, you do it yourself, but you flash it remotely. What intake manifold is on your N52? I have the N54 intake manifold. What tune you recommend me for my stock 328i? Get the 22 RPD tune. If you click the link in my bio, there should be a page that has that linked. You can run it fully stock. They set it up for whatever mods you have. Big N52 hours, indeed. Wow, there's a lot of questions at once. Can you guys hear me okay? I got you on the AirPod before I go any further. Why I can't hear you? Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Yes, okay, cool. Let's catch up here. Would I recommend N54 headers? Well, the N54 has manifolds since the turbos are integrated in the manifold, so you really can't install N54 headers. And I also wouldn't run twin turbo on an N52. Just get the HC Racing headers on AliExpress. They're like $300. And if you go to bavautoparts.com, I have a link to them. My N52 is misfiring and I changed the sparks. Do a smoke leak test. I have a video on that on my YouTube too. Usually it's the CCV hose leaking, or it could be your coil packs too. N52 been having crazy misfires at 110. Well, first of all, where you're driving 110. But yeah, check coil packs, spark plugs, and vacuum leak. Usually it's one of those three. What's the best thing to start off with for quick, easy power on a 528i? Alejandro. 22 RPD tune. I mean, there's nothing easier for a stock car, and best bang for the buck. After that, it's headers and intake manifold. Those are the best bang for the buck you can do. Jared, want to see the damage to the drifter? I saw that, dude, that you're going to have to go wide body now. But that's okay. It'll look good. Stupid question. No such thing as stupid questions. N51 and N52 are the same, right? They're different. The N51 is the California version. It's sold all over the US, but it's the Sula version, and it has lower compression. It makes less power mod for mod than the N52 because of that, but it's not super drastic, and it does come with the 3-stage intake manifold stock, so generally you do see more power gains from a tune on an N51 since they're detuned a little bit more from the factory. Threat, what's up, dude? Love the work. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching my stuff. Why supercharge instead of turbo? Was it just the supercharged platform was already there and less of a headache? You know what? 22 RPD just teamed up with ESS on those superchargers, and I had actually just had my family come out to visit me, and I had 4 people in the car at once, and I tried to pass someone on the highway, and it was just so slow with 4 full-grown people in there. I was like, I need some kind of boost, and then it was like a couple days later, the owner at 22 was like, we're gonna team up with ESS and sell these kits, and I was like, all right, let's put one on my car immediately. But otherwise, I do like the supercharger compared to turbo too. It's way easier to install. There's no oil lines or more parts to bolt on, and also lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Oh, it's a linear power band too. So I always wanted to try that out. I hadn't had one before. Should I get the Ghost Cam? Yeah, if you like how it sounds, why not? The best tune for 325i, 22 RPD always. 22 RPD is the way to go. Do N54 have, oh, correction, N52. Do N52 have the same head bolt ripping issue that high boosted M54 have? You know what? I haven't ran Crazy Boost, but I do remember reading years ago, what was that? BPC. They boosted an N52, and I think they might have had some kind of issue with the head bolts lifting or the head lifting, something like that. But then Jason Punancy on YouTube made like something crazy, like 600 horsepower on a turbo, and he didn't have that issue. So I haven't looked into that personally, so maybe, but I don't have that issue on mine either at 12 PSI. How much horsepower can you make in an N52 NA? You said HP and not real horsepower, so to the crank, I did 317 with the 22 RPD velocity stacks and tune, the Chinese headers from HC Racing, and then a 3-inch exhaust. So somewhere around there, but that's without high compression pistons and cams, which obviously would be more, but super expensive. How much horsepower does a stage 3 tune make with headers, intake, and N54 manifold? Well, there's no such thing as a stage 3 tune. I'm guessing, you said N54 intake. So just the tuned headers, intake, N54 manifold, I made 261 wheel horsepower on the dyno here at 22 RPD, and that was with what I recently found out my torque converter was failing, so it was letting some power out there, so it might be a little higher, so like 260, 265, something like that. And that's on a rear-wheel drive automatic. Are you eventually going to build your block? Not really planning on doing pistons and rods or anything like that, but I am going to pin the crank hub and turn up the boost some more. So I wouldn't really consider that building the block, but that's kind of the only engine thing I'm going to do with that. Would you want high comp head blueprints or titanium lasered connecting rod blueprints? I'm guessing you're saying you have the blueprints for that and you're offering it to me? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Let me know. Are you running the XHP transmission tune on your car? If so, would you recommend it? Yep, I am running that. I would recommend it for anyone that has a ZF transmission. Night and day difference in shifting. It's way better to drive. How can I tune an N52 myself? If you go to my YouTube channel, RAIMUND N52, you can check my last video. I show step by step on how to flash the 22 RPD tune, and I have a link in my bio to buy that too. Got an E60 530i. Do you know if there's a replacement for the buoy that indicates the coolant level? If you're at the point where the buoy disintegrated, it's time to just replace that whole expansion tank. Just get an OEM one off FCP Euro. They're like $40-50 and replace the whole thing. It comes with the buoy. I haven't looked. Is the N52 trumpet intake finally out to public? No, we're still in beta 2. We're still working on that. There's a lot that goes into it, so we're still ironing that out. Is the sprint booster worth it on an E60 525xi automatic? No, don't bother. Get the 22 RPD tune because we can change the throttle response through the DME through a flash. You don't need to do piggyback stuff anymore. That's pretty old school. Craig Bimmer, what's up, bro? How do I fix check engine light? Thank you. Part it out. Yeah, it's time for a part out. 3-stage intake or N54 intake manifold. So I have an article on my site. If you go to bavautoparts.com under frequently asked questions, I do a rundown on which one is better. I can't say like one's better completely because they do have different benefits. But if you go on there and you look at my little article on that, you can decide for yourself which is best. But long story short, the 3-stage is low end torque. The N54 intake is top end horsepower. How do I tune my N52 myself? If you guys, let's see. Okay, never mind. How do I tune my N52 myself, not 330i tune, 22 RPD? Go to 22rpd.com, you can get a tune there. Then I have a how-to flash it video on my YouTube channel. Toby, what's up, man? NA N52 can make 600 real horsepower, right? Well, they make 1,000 from the factory, so if you down tune it, you can make it just as slow as an N54. Yeah, that's true. YEG Bimmers, how you doing, bro? What happens if you don't program battery on N52? Nothing too bad, but you can kill your battery sooner than it would normally last because your alternator won't be putting out the correct voltage based on its size and how old it is. So get Pro Tool because you'll always use it on a BMW and then just code it in because your battery will last longer. Only drive 111 miles per hour, boom fixed next. I don't know what that means. Chilled N52, what's up? Chris. N51 power mods. N51 power mods will be the same as the N52. You can do mod for mod anything you do on an N52. The only difference being you'll make a little less power because you have lower compression pistons. Hello, mate. I was interested in your N52 kit. I do own a 330i, but it's N53 engine. Does it make a problem if I apply the upgrades to it? N53, you can do all the same upgrades as well. Generally, you actually make a little more power since you have direct injection. You can't do the velocity stacks because you don't have Valvetronic, and those don't come with throttle bodies, but you can do the Supercharger kit and N54 intake manifold and tune anything like that. What tuning platform do you use? 22 RPD has a program for flashing and stuff like that. They send it out on a flash drive when you order a tune. Handles the read and the flash and everything. When I'm in second gear, I hear a scraping sound only above 150 kilometers an hour. What's a kilometer? When the AC is on, but heat full blast and the sunroof is about 80% of the way open and gas cap cracked a quarter turn. I'm going to say part out on that one as well. I need to part that out. What are the easiest mods for an E60 530i? Once again, 22 RPD tune. You hook up a computer and you flash the tune. There's nothing easier than that. You could do headers and intake manifold too, but obviously that's some labor. But I would do that eventually if I were you. Do you need to send your ECU out for any type of tune? You can. If you want us to do the tune for you, we can flash it here. It's just extra charge. But if you don't want downtime with your car, we can send you everything on a flash drive and you can do it yourself. Toby, there's way too many questions. Yeah, I didn't think this would be so busy. I cannot get caught up to the bottom. Free to wait, what's up, bud? Do I need to upgrade anything before doing stage 3 intake tune? I don't. A couple of you guys asked me about stage 3 tunes, but I'm not sure what that is. We don't have a stage 3 tune. Oh, you're asking about the 3-stage intake. No, you don't have to upgrade anything. You can just flash it once you install that intake. But you might as well do headers at the same time before you pay for a tune. Best exhaust for N52. I've put like a dozen different exhausts on my car, and there's a couple that definitely stand out. If you're on stock exhaust manifolds and you don't have headers, it's a lot easier to make it sound good and cheaper. I do like the N54 135i muffler. You can get them for like $100, and then you can delete the resonator, and it sounds a lot like the OEM performance exhaust. So it's like a nice cheap way to do it. I think that sounds great. And then also, if you do get headers, the best way to make those sound good is a single exhaust. You could do like 2 3/4 inch exhaust or a 3 inch. The 2 3/4 will sound a little bit better, but it's harder to find parts and more expensive. But if you look on my YouTube, I do have a video, I think like 3 videos ago, and I posted my current exhaust, which is kind of probably my favorite sounding one. What is the high? You guys like the highest horsepower question? What is the highest horsepower N52 can make? NA, probably like 320 to the crank, which, let's see. Oh, we did have one at 22 RPD that did 275 wheel horsepower, and that was an N52 swapped E30, and he had N54 intake manifold, a cone intake, and a 2 3/4 inch exhaust. So that's pretty solid. When I get 4 fat people in my car, I feel my car feels like a brick. Yeah, that is true. Sprint booster worth it? No, don't get a sprint booster. Get a flash tune. Is the N52 faster than the V10 M5? That's a good question. I have to line it up with one and see which one's faster. Thinking about printing a set of velocity stacks. Yeah, do it. We can tune it. If you want to make your own set, we could tune you for it. Raymond, when are we doing round 2 of Left 4 Dead 2? Soon. I haven't played video games in forever, but I've kind of gotten a hankering for it lately. So maybe we can get past 1 level if we try playing again on like easy mode, because we sucked last time. What does repair file do when you brick ECU for flashing? So I'm not the tuner at 22, but from my knowledge, the repair file you're gonna get sent, it's basically a full flash stock file. I don't know if there's like some kind of modification to make it a repair file, but basically it's just restoring your DME so you can flash it again. If no vacuum leak, should I check injectors and vanos? I'm guessing that's for the misfire. I've never seen bad N52 injectors. Vanos could do it, and also there's a recall you should check for the Vanos bolts and the Vanos sprockets, and they'll fix that for free at BMW. But if no vacuum leak, definitely coil packs would be the next most likely culprit. Hey Raymond, straight off the top of my head, how will the N52 heat shield mount, if you know, of course? That's funny. Yeah, we just ordered the hardware for that today, actually. So there's I can visualize how it mounts. I'm just trying to think of how to explain it. So on the magnesium cover, there are 2 threaded nubs that come out of 2 there's 2 threaded studs that come out of the intake manifold sorry, not the intake manifold, the valve cover. And we have a bracket that comes off of those, and then I believe we're doing like threads on those brackets, and then there'll be 2 holes, one on each side of the top, and the bolts will go through there and thread onto those standoffs. Why doesn't my N54 have a check engine light? Did you do an N52 swap on it, perhaps? I'm not gonna read this one, but thank you. 2 questions really. What's the power output on the stage 1 22 RPD supercharger kit, and what are some fuel upgrades I can do for high horsepower N52? The stage 1, I think that's rated at like 300 wheel, maybe 310, something like that. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I installed the supercharger on my car, and I already had the smaller pulleys, so I kind of like upgraded it as soon as I put it on. And your second question, the fuel upgrades. Well, if you're going the supercharger route, our kit comes with the upgraded injectors already, so you don't have to worry about that. If you go past like 420 wheel horsepower, then you can upgrade the fuel pump, or if you're doing like E85. But NA, you don't need to upgrade your fuel system unless you're doing E85, and then you can do Porsche injectors. Hold on, guys, I need a drink. There's a lot of questions. Okay, what else we got? You raced any cars yet with a new setup? No, I haven't. No one's really lined up. I tried to race a Mustang the other day, but he didn't want to. I heard a big company turbo the N52 and the head lifted at 500 horsepower. Not sure if the bolts were... Yeah, that's what I was talking with the BPC. That was BPC's Alice. But I'm not sure the full details on that. Can I run the velocity stacks in the supercharger? Smurf runner. Yeah, you can. You could do the Bluetooth wireless supercharger, and the boost will just transfer wirelessly into the velocity stacks. Ian, they make N52 time search for the studs. I forgot who. Yeah, so that would probably be the way to go if your head studs are lifting. Time cert it. Please send me the part number for the cap on the oil pan when moving from CCV to catch can. You know, Daniel, I think that I don't think you can buy those separately, because someone else asked me that a while ago, and I couldn't find it. I think you have to just grab one used. I could be wrong. I'm kind of spacing on that. I don't really remember. But yeah, hit the junkyard or, I don't know, local part out and try to find one. N52, how do I tune my N52 without a PC? You make a friend with a PC. There's no way that you could tune it without a computer, since that's where everything's loaded. But yeah, ask one of your buddies or like a family member if you can borrow it. What was the stock wheel horsepower in your car? I never dynoed my car when it was stock, but on the dyno here, I want to say the 330i's put out like 200 wheel horsepower, and now the last dyno did 408 wheel horsepower. M57 or N52? That's a tough one. I would say both. I like both of them very much. About how much have you spent on your build? Well, I bought the car. I don't keep track too much because I buy a lot of stuff. But I bought the car for $1,500, and it had a bad motor when I bought it. And I bought the replacement motor for $600, and then just mods on top of that. I would say probably around 10K total, something like that. But I haven't really spent any money on like cosmetic stuff, which is expensive. Like I haven't spent money on bumpers or M Sport stuff. It's just been performance. Is this a serious thing where people are putting head studs in this platform? I realize the N52 doesn't have metal sleeves. However, it's a pretty damn close block to the N54. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. But if you Google BPC Project Alice, I think they kind of deleted a lot of their posts a couple of years ago, though, of the build. But they went all out on their built N52. So if someone did it, they probably did. How many wheel horsepower with a manual 22 tune MILVs N54 Manny single mass flywheel and catless headers? Like I said, the E30 swap N52 made 275 here, and the only difference between your setup was he didn't have MILVs, and he had a 2 3/4 inch single exhaust, which if you have like a straight through muffler, with which I think you do, it should be the same. So like 275, I guess. What brand you recommend to get headers? Go to bavautoparts.com and click the frequently asked questions, and you can get them off AliExpress. I'm not affiliated with them, but people have been running those for like the last 6 years, and they're cheap and they work good. The company's HC Racing on AliExpress. Love the work you are doing to keeping N52 strong. Thanks, Kim. Vitaly, what's up? Ian, chat, we're live chat. How to fix evap leak with velocity stacks. I'm pretty sure in the beta test, we sent out instructions on how to do that with that fitting that goes in there. You install the fitting on the velocity stacks and you can run your evap there. If you're still getting a code, your evap might have just crapped out and you need to replace it. Chat, am I cooked? My N52 sounds like a Subaru. Yeah, definitely going to be another part out there. You got to part it out. I'm pushing 550 horsepower in my N52 fully built. Have you run into any issues with the Valvetronic system running boost? No, it runs perfect. I haven't had any issues with that. Throttle response is A1, and it boosts just fine. Oh, with NOS you're making 550 horsepower. That's a lot. I ran nitrous on my last N52, but I didn't go past the 100 shot. Do you have any anti-gravity battery? No, I'm not rich. I've got a H6 battery Everstart from Walmart. N52, yes or no? Yeah, definitely yes. N52. Difference between high output and standard N52 besides 3-stage intake. Can't find this info anywhere. It depends, because there's some conflicting info on this. Some people get confused on the N53 numbers, and they post it as an N52. The 272 horsepower rating is for the N53, but I think the highest N52 rating is 265, and that comes on the X5 3.0 SI and the Z4. And differences are, I believe the exhaust manifolds are better. It has a little bit bigger rear section of the exhaust. It has a different tune, obviously 3-stage intake manifold. And I think that's it. It's nothing crazy. It's not like a different engine or anything. You can match or make your car make more power than those with mods. Can you briefly explain the difference between N52 and N51? N51, more emissions components, lower compression, less power. Josen, how do I get tuned without computer? I'm sorry, you can't, bro. It's not possible. You need to borrow someone's. Are MILVs actually worth it? I don't know. I have them on my car. I've had them on my car for years, though. And BPC and a couple other shops dynoed them like way back in the day, and they gained like 10 wheel horsepower with the installing them and doing adjustments in the tune. But a shop recently this year did some measurements with an engine out and said they didn't actually increase lift. So I really don't know. I'm not an engine builder, so I couldn't watch that video and be like, yeah, that's legit or no. So yeah, I'm really not sure. I still have them on my car, but yeah, I'd probably go ahead and do tune headers and intake manifold before we even think about getting that. Thoughts on new Mr. Olympia? I haven't followed bodybuilding since like 2016. I don't even know who competes anymore. Yeah, I think Ronnie Coleman's pretty good. Replace plastic cover or swap for magnesium. If you get an OEM plastic, it's fine. If you can kind of like, if you can only afford like a really cheap plastic cover, I'd probably get a used magnesium, because they basically last forever. But you will have to do a different solution for your crankcase ventilation lifter and a catch can to your intake manifold. MILF's worth it, and do they install easy? Well, I answered the worth it part. Install easy, yeah, I mean, it's a valve cover gasket job with another like half-hour labor. Any quarter-mile numbers? I haven't gotten a good run in yet with the new transmission. Ooh, I gotta plug my phone in, hold on. I'm never gonna catch up to these questions. Let's see, I'll stay on. Okay. Alrighty, oh yeah, quarter mile numbers. I haven't gotten a good run in yet with the new transmission. I tried to do runs on the old transmission and the transmission was so tired that if I tried to launch it in first, it just wouldn't shift. But it's in the 12s at least. But yeah, I'll do a good run soon, weather permitting. What's the R&D behind the company you're using, like their validity? I'm not sure what you mean by that question. 22 RPD's been tuning for a decade plus, and they have a full service shop, maintenance, mods, dyno in-house, engine dyno in-house soon. We have a Haas 3-axis CNC machine. We've got lifts, full team of technicians, customer service staff. I mean, it's as legit as it gets, if that answers your question. Build you crazy, brother, thank you. The dyno's starting now too, so I might have to skip off here in a minute. N52 mods without tune. I guess you could do headers and exhaust. You need a tune if you do intake manifold, especially N54 intake manifold, or won't make good power. Need some good rear diff for my 330i manual. Recommend anyone. 373 is pretty good all around. If you want to go really aggressive, you can go 391. For exhaust, would you resonator delete and keep muffler, or keep resonator and delete muffler for a better sound? Definitely just do a muffler delete. If you just want to delete one thing, do the muffler for sure. Can my 330 handle a 600-mile road trip? Yeah, I just drove from Colorado to Washington this year. I've also taken my car from Colorado to Arizona, back to Colorado. Yeah, you'll be fine if you do your maintenance. Why N54 over N52? Just wondering, not hating. Oh, why N52 over N54? I used to have a bunch of N54s, believe it or not, and they're fun, but the N52 is kind of more interesting to me, just since it's not like, okay, add these 5 parts to your cart and your build's done for full bolt on, you know what I mean? It actually has taken some thought in like designing parts and stuff like that. It's kind of just more interesting, and also the N54 kind of gets annoying with breaking down. Even if you do your maintenance, there's always some random thing you get a limp mode on the highway. I mean, you ask any N54 owner if they have their phone like mounted with MHD, they're clicking clear codes so they can drive. While they're driving, they're clearing codes so it doesn't go into limp mode. So it kind of gets annoying. N52 have stroker kit. VAC had a stroker kit years ago. I don't know if they still sell it. Why did you go N52 over N54? I answered that one. How much could I source a new transmission for? It really depends on your prices in your area. Check eBay, check Facebook, check Craigslist. What are the best mods to make to the N52 while staying NA besides the RPD tune? I mean, if you want to make more power, you got to get it tuned. It's kind of one of the big three. The big three is intake manifold, headers, and tune. If you don't get it tuned, I would probably just do headers. How much fabrication did you have to do the Chinese headers to make them fit? What was the brand? No modification. That's why I recommend them. They bolt in, but use OEM gaskets or they'll leak. The brand is HC Racing on AliExpress. How long am my N52 gonna last me? I'm at 184K. My last one went to 240K, and the last owner didn't take care of it at all. And I sprayed a bunch of nitrous and stuff in there. But I've seen people go to like 400K, so do the maintenance, it'll be fine. Welcome back, Chris. How much N52 pushed at what boost pressure? I did 408 wheel horsepower at 12 PSI. I have a 320i with N46. Should I get an N52 or turbo my N46 to around 350 horsepower? I don't know anything about the N46. I really can't answer that. I don't know about those, but N52 is good. I don't have a computer to flash the tune. What can I do? I don't know, dude. You gotta get one. That's the only way to do it. Or you can send in your DME. Send us your DME. It's like $100, and we'll flash the tune for you and send it back to you. But your car will be down, while it's in shipping and coming back. But that's really your only option unless you got a friend or something you can borrow the computer. How obnoxious is a 3-inch system with the valve closed and with the muffler? Oh, it's fine. It's pretty, it's tame, like cruising and driving. It's not obnoxious. But if I get on it, it's still pretty loud. I have muffler, resonator delete, plus 22 RPD tune. Will I still be loud? Should I get catless headers for flames? You won't be super loud with just muffler delete and resonator delete, but when you do go to headers, it's going to be ridiculously loud with that setup. You'll probably want to put a muffler on there. But yeah, you do need catless headers for flames. I have my phone on the charger, but it's at 1% and it keeps going down, so it might cut me off here. We're gonna get on the fast charger here. Okay. You're nickel and diming power at this point. However, I'm sure Raymond will give you his honest opinion. If you're worried about tickets, you have a valve to figure it out. I don't know, I get that. Does anyone run aftermarket ECUs and does anyone run aftermarket ECU in N52? I have an Max ECU. Not that I know of. Most people just run the stock DME. But I think you can do rotational idle on Max ECU and EGT and stuff like that, so that's cool. How much is a tune for N52? They're like $450. Does the radiator carrier for E90 fit the E92? Check realoem.com, compare the part numbers. I will get everyone's questions too. If you guys ask me multiple times, I'm going to get confused and probably repeat myself. Stage 2, you need headers. We don't do the stages anymore. 22 RPD, it's just a custom tune for whatever you have. If you want a headers tune, you do need headers, which would be the old stage 2. Can I put 328 intake on a 323i? I'm not sure. We don't have the 323i here. I think that's the 2.5 liter, in which case you do have smaller ports on the intake, so look into that. How many miles is your N52 pushing? I think this engine has like 135k on it now. Is it worth the upgrade from an E46 330i to an E90 330i? Yeah, I mean, I started, my first car that was a BMW was an E46, and I'd say the E90 is better in all aspects that I care about. So yeah, test drive one and see if you like it. How did you learn everything that you know? Everything you're saying is like a foreign language to me, but I want to understand and learn. Well, I like looking into stuff that interests me. And the BMW, like N52 stuff interests me, so I've just kind of learned through working on my own car, talking to people that knew stuff I didn't. I bought a Bentley manual for the car, which tells you how to do anything you want to do to it, like replacing transmission, pulling parts and stuff like that. And then for a couple of years I parted out E90s, E60s, and E82s, so I learned a lot from just stripping them down to nothing. So other than that, you kind of just have to learn. If you're not interested in paying a mechanic to do your work, you kind of just have to figure it out and make stuff work on your own, watch YouTube videos, and learn as best you can. And you learn from your mistakes as well. Is N52 reliable? From N52 community, you know it's reliable, Mr. N52 community. N52 is better than B58, changed my mind. Ooh, that's gonna, hopefully there's no B58 owners in here, they're not gonna be happy. How risky is it to run velocity stacks daily? Me and the other N52 owner at 22 RPD ran velocity stacks for like 2 or 3 months daily. It was fine. Just make sure you have your under tray on, so you don't have like rocks and stuff kicking up in your engine bay. But yeah, I mean, they're party mode stacks. It's really meant more towards like the weekend warrior, track use, because there's no filter. Obviously, it's just you have open holes into your engine. So yeah, I mean, it's for partying. That's all I can say about that. I have a 528i. Is it okay to get a tune with only an exhaust and intake, or do I need a stage 3 intake? Yeah, we can tune you completely stock or with whatever you have. You don't have to get any parts. I love you, Ray. N52 slow. What is the best things to do with an N52? Drive it. Yeah. Is N52 good for drag? No, I wouldn't. I do quarter miles and stuff just kind of as a measure of performance from like, I installed this part, let's see what difference it made. But if you're trying to compete or have a serious hobby of drag racing, N52 does not make any sense to do that. I also go to the track and do quarter miles for fun, but it's not built for that. It's built for handling well, canyon carving, autocross, reliable daily driver, like stuff like that. You can race them on the track, but drag racing doesn't really make sense. There's just so many more better platforms for that. Even the N54 guys that drag race, all the guys I know that made like 800 plus wheel horsepower, they eventually switched to like a LS platform or a Mustang or something like that. So any Mexico runs since the Supercharger? No, it's kind of hard to find races here. More for like drift builds, question mark. Oh yeah, I know a lot of guys that drift the N52. It's reliable. You can bang off the limiter and be fine, and it makes enough power for drifting too. What would a stock N51 run 0 to 60? I don't know. It's probably posted somewhere on the internet. How come you don't have a manual transmission? I get this question a lot. I don't have anything against manual transmissions. My last E90 and my 135i was both manual. But here in Seattle, I drive in traffic a lot, so I kind of just prefer the comfort of an automatic, and also I do a lot of road tripping with this car. So for my use, it kind of made sense to just get a really fast shifting automatic, because like I can still track it fine on the paddle shifters. I can't do like heel toe, but I'm not a competitive racer. It's just for fun. So yeah, it just kind of makes more sense for my usage and my preference. If I had a second car, I'd probably get another manual. How hard is it to install velocity stacks? Oh, it's super easy. The hardest part is taking your intake manifold off. It takes like 5 minutes to put the velocity stacks on. Where could I find a used ESS kit for like under 4K? I pretty much never see them for sale used. But if you do see one pop up, it's going to be on boosted N52 builds, BMW N52 Facebook group, or Facebook Marketplace probably. What made you stay on the N52 platform instead of just moving to N54, N55? Well, the last platform I did have was N54, and before that I had N55. I don't really care about like peak horsepower numbers. I just care about how the car drives more than anything. And honestly, like 300 to 400 wheel horsepower is plenty for the kind of driving that I want to build the car for. It's not drag racing like I was saying earlier. How hard was the change transmission GM to 6HP21? I never had a GM. I had the 6HP19, and it was fairly plug and play to go to the 21. If you go to bavautoparts.com, under the if you click blogs, bavautoparts.com, I did a write-up on everything I needed to do. Why don't you drive a manual transmission? Yeah, you asked that already. Why didn't you buy an N54? N52 slow. You know why I didn't buy an N54. What is the best headers for N51? The best bang for the buck is HC Racing on AliExpress. Not hating, but how does 22 RPD expect to sell any supercharger kits at 6K? That's a really steep price. That's a fair question. Well, to answer that, ESS used to sell those kits for $5,500, and I want to say that's before tax. And with that $5,500, you were getting about 270 wheel horsepower, and now the kits are $6,500. to 7,500, and you're getting between 300 wheel horsepower and 400 plus. And I'm actually testing a smaller pulley soon, so we might be able to get closer to 450. So if you kind of do the math there on what you're paying dollar per horsepower, it's actually a better deal than ESS used to be. But yeah, I mean, it's a niche item. It's for people that like their N52 and they want an N52 that's just faster. There's always going to be the guys that are just like, well, I'll just buy an N54, and that's okay too. But yeah, I mean, superchargers in general are pretty expensive. Like if you look up just the supercharger for Vortec, just the supercharger alone is like $4,000. So it's pretty hard to make a cheap kit for superchargers. Like you look at any car, like any of the ESS kits, they're all, it all costs a decent amount of money. Kind of lost my train of thought there. But yeah, we're not making like we're not doing a massive upcharge or anything like that. There's not a big margin on these kits. It's kind of just like, that's what we can sell them for, because it's expensive parts. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. It comes with literally everything you need ready to make 400 wheel horsepower out of the box. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Quality costs money. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, ESS is not a cheap company in general. Like ESS kit for anything costs money. Like they're top tier quality stuff. They're really nice products. Hi, do you do EWS delete on the E90? Yeah. Go to 22rpd.com. Go to select your car and put in your car info, and then on the tune page, you can select EWS delete as an add-on. Doubling your horsepower from NA is not going to be cheap. Yeah, it's true. It's very true. What is the ideal compression across each cylinder supposed to be? Ooh, good question. I know the spec, but I can't remember the exact over the top of my head. This is like ballpark. I think it's like minimum 160, but no bigger than 20% variance per cylinder. I think that's about right. And also you have to turn the Valvetronic motor to fully max position to get an accurate compression test, and have the pedal to the floor when you're doing it. Do you do EWS delete? Yeah, we do. 22rpd.com. Why don't you drive manual transmission, and could you explain the difference and why you prefer the automatic? Did that. Automatic is faster, but manual's more fun. Yeah, manual's a blast. I like driving manual. Is N52 a good drift build? Yeah, there's another guy. I don't know if he's still watching this live stream, but his name's Jared_SVT. He's running our velocity stacks, and he drifts the crap out of his E90. Weird question. Have you thought of taking a trip up north to learn from RMP Motors and possibly get their camshaft specs? I know they're not too touchy about it. Good question. I haven't even thought about that until you mentioned that. I would imagine that's kind of their like proprietary information, though. I feel like it would be kind of shady for me to go up there as like another shop and try to get like their secrets and stuff. Your 128 oil pan is leaking. Does BMW have a warranty? I'm getting it sent to the dealer for a slew of warranty things. You'd have to talk to your dealer about that. I'm not sure. What about roll racing? Yeah, again, that's not really a ideal platform for roll racing. There's a lot better options. I still roll race. It's still fun, but if you wanted to build specifically for roll racing, there's other cars that would probably be better. I remember when you was posting your manual. That's why I asked. Thanks for answering. Yeah, no problem. I'm going to be real. The manual on an NA N52 is nice, but if I was boosted, I'd want an auto with XHP. Yeah, it does shift really good. Tomas, what's up, bro? Tomas the man. Why don't you S58 swap it like we discussed? Yeah, just send me that S58. Let me know the tracking info when that'll arrive, and I'll throw it in. When are you coming back to Colorado with the 330? I'm planning on it at some point. I miss my friends there. A lot of my friends live in Colorado in the Denver area, so I definitely want to make a trip back over there and hang out. 3-stage intake or N54 intake for an auto wagon. Auto, I'd probably go 3-stage. Get a 330 or buy 328 and put a manifold. I'd probably buy whichever is a better deal and in better condition. That'd probably usually be a 328 because they're newer, less miles and stuff like that. There's really no difference, like power-wise, if you put the same intake manifold as a 330. So it doesn't really matter. Pizza Boy, so ESS is the problem. I wouldn't say it's a problem. I mean, it's just kind of what stuff costs. Even if we made like a Vortec based setup, the supercharger alone would still be expensive, and it'd probably be the same price. So yeah, unfortunately, you got to pay to play. I hate to say that, but that's kind of the way it is with the superchargers. Tomas, SC not for brokeries, not for brokies. Yeah, I'm a brokey though too. Do you still sell your nitrous kits on BAV Auto Parts, and can you run it with N54 intake? Yeah, I still sell those. I actually did run an N54 intake with mine. I wouldn't run nitrous with a 3-stage intake just because you want even distribution between all cylinders with the nitrous, and I don't fully trust those diesel flaps to accomplish that. So yeah, definitely go N54 intake. I have a 330i. Is there a noticeable difference in power than the 328? Stock for stock, yeah, the 330 is faster. Do you guys have a lot on stock, or is there like a limited number? Like says you sold out, is there restock on supercharger kits? We're definitely not sold out. I have one here ready to go at 22 RPD. On bavautoparts.com, the only reason everything says sold out is because I'm working directly with 22 RPD now, so just order directly from their site and it won't say sold out. Any product on bavautoparts.com, if you click on the product, the first part of the description should be a link to that same product from 22. 2006 330i worse than 328 reliability. Well, the older a car is, generally the less reliable it can be, and they also has the 3-stage intake, which can fail. So maybe it really depends on how it was taken care of. Can I get a tune for cheaper than listed price? Unfortunately not. You just missed the Black Friday sale. That was the only sale we had this year. Elwin says he drifts his E90, and Ethan says there's a big difference between sliding it and being a drift car. Well, I do know guys that are literally like on a drift track drifting, not doing donuts and stuff like that, and it works perfect. So yeah, I'd say you could definitely make it a drift car. Can I run catless headers in my E70 X5 N52? Would it still be reliable? Yeah, that won't affect your reliability at all. You can definitely run them. The question is which ones fit, and I don't have an answer to that. Hi, Mr. A. Hey, Aaron. What's up, bud? Do the new 5150 S55 cams fit the N51? I haven't seen those. I'm not sure. Why supercharge instead of turbo? I guess I'm going to have to read an article on this. I already answered this, so I don't want to go too in-depth, but basically it's something new for me. I already had turbo N54s, and the supercharger has a really smooth linear power band. But if you want to read more in-depth on that, go to bavautoparts.com, go to blogs, and then click supercharger build, and I kind of explain a little bit more. Slow 82. Hold on, guys. I gotta get a drink. My throat's getting so dry. Okay, where are we at? Oh, it scrolled me down. Let's see. Ever tried Slow 82 said, ever try solid motor mounts? I love them, but probably not for everyone. I tried the Vargas solid inserts, and I hated the vibration, so I took them out. So probably would not like those. How does the 6 HP automatic hold up on a 330i with your kit? I'm guessing you're talking about the Supercharger kit, in which case it holds up good. Get XHP stage 3, do your maintenance on transmission. I only upgraded mine because my torque converter was falling apart, and it was actually from a 325i. And it had like 230K on it. But if you've got reasonable miles and you do solenoids, mech seals, and fluid, you'll be good. I also like the heat shields for the engine mounts themselves. I bought mine right after Raymond melted his. Yeah, I had the PowerFlex inserts and they melted. What's the best thing to do to your N52 if you want power for under 1K? Good question. That's what everyone wants to know. Get the HC Racing headers for $332, and then order a 22 RPD tune for $450, and that will be under 1,000. That'll be the most power you can make under $1,000. Okay. Because catless headers can get expensive for the install. Yeah, I'm kind of assuming you're installing parts yourself. Yeah, so if it's under $1,000 budget and you have to pay someone to do it, just get a 22 RPD tune. Because yeah, header install is kind of expensive. Also, a daily with catless gets old quick. Yeah, I don't like fully catless, but if you get catless headers and you keep your secondary cats, it doesn't smell. Who welded your S54 headers? I found some online and was thinking of modifying them to fit. So it's a local guy here in Seattle. I'm not sure if he wants to like produce them for other people, so I'm kind of not saying who it is so he doesn't get like blown up with messages. But after mine are finished being made, I'll talk to him and see if he wants to do that. And then I'll post his information. Should I change my GM trans fluid? I bought the car at 111K. Yeah, change the fluid. Does 22 RPD do DME cloning? I'm not sure. Go to 22rpd.com and call the main line. The guys at the front desk could answer that question. Website question mark? I forget what question I answered for you, but website's probably going to be bavautoparts.com, BAV Auto Parts, or it's going to be 22rpd.com. How are you liking the ZF8? I love ZF8, but I don't have one in my car. I've got the ZF621. and it's night and day from my my 230k mile transmission. What's the best way to not make catless headers? Okay, so you want to know how to do catless headers without sending like a VQ. Yeah, I get that comment a lot in my videos. I can't remember if I have this posted or not. If you go on my YouTube and you find my videos with the single 3-inch exhaust with the fart can on it, that was the best one, 3-inch single exhaust. Getting close to my N52 numbers with the new transmission. What numbers are you making? My goodness, there's a lot of questions. Recommend cat delete? I always liked having at least one cat in the exhaust. I don't think it's good to be breathing in catless exhaust for how much I drive or anyone else really. And it smells like really stinky. 463 on pump gas. Is that a turbo setup or supercharger, or what are you running? Yeah, some of your dyno sheet too. I'd like to check it out. Northwest E90. Are you running an oil pressure gauge? If so, how'd you like it? Hold on, my fiance's ordering DoorDash. Where are you ordering from?
You want the same thing?
Yeah, let's do Greek fries again. I'll just do, yeah, 2 of those would probably be good. Do they have pop?
Yeah.
Sprite?
Yeah.
I'll do a Sprite.
Okay.
Thanks, babe. Okay, where are we at? Oh, am I running an oil pressure gauge? No, I'm not. No. Probably be more of an issue if I was running like slicks on the track or something. I'd have to pay more attention. But if you're looking for one, when I was building a turbo kit for my N52 that I didn't finish, I bought the oil pressure sensor adapter from Bimmer World, and that gives you another port to put an oil pressure sensor. Is there anything you do differently from your NA stage, or do you feel like you were maxed out at 270 wheel horsepower? That's a good question. Let me think. I think the only thing I could do in addition to what I had would have been going full E85 or or building the motor for high compression, and I didn't want to do either of those. So yeah, no, I'd still do the same setup I had. Ethan, you've got S65 injectors, secondary port fueling. How come you don't run just the Porsche injectors and you don't have to worry about port injection? The Porsche injectors flow plenty for that power. How do I tune my N52? I'm trying to get 335 IS tuned, but I don't have a computer. Just send us your DME. Go to 22rpd.com. I do have a link in my bio to the directly to the N52 tune, and just select the ECU exchange option. We'll flash it for you and send it back to you. Why did you decide to go with an N52? I don't know how long of a story I want to do on this, but basically I started off flipping cars. I flipped cars for probably 3 years, and towards the end of that, the last year, I bought an E46 that I was fixing to flip, and I drove it actually, and I ended up liking it a lot. It was the first BMW I'd driven, and so I started flipping BMWs for a while. I had E36s, E46, E90, 1 Series, 5 Series, like everything. And the N52 really stood out because it had like good power. Like it's faster than my E36 M3 on an NA non-M car. So I was really impressed by that. And then after I sold my E36 M3, I was dailying my N52 for a while, and it just kind of stuck. It made sense for me. It was like cheap to maintain, easy to work on. It sounded good, and it was reliable. I did have N54s too, but they kind of got annoying for me because I was always just working on them instead of driving them. And I got to drive the N52 a lot more than fix it. So I love the ITB setup on your N52. It sounds so damn good. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Josen, I don't have a computer. Yeah, you don't need a computer if you just send us, you pull your whole DME, your ECU, and you mail it to us. There's an option for it on the website. I need to tune N52 with N54 intake, best way out, and catch can, best way out. I think you're asking which tuner, who can tune it. Go with a 22 RPD tune, of course. Yeah, click the link in my bio, and I got a link to the tune there. I used to run N54 intake for years on a 22 RPD tune. What do you recommend on a mods before supercharging full power out of motor? Probably just headers. Maybe a high flow muffler instead of stock one. The stock exhaust is good for like a good amount of power. Besides the muffler is a little restrictive. So yeah, just headers and a high flow muffler. Mainly just headers. And an N54 intake manifold is definitely good to use for boost. What does repair file do when you break ECU mid-flash? I already answered that. Would you suggest tuning a 230k kilometer N52? Yeah, why not? After repair file gets, do I have to redo the flash read? You'll have to, like I said before, man. You'll have to talk to the tuner about that because I'm not the tuner, so I don't know the intricacies of how everything works with that. Can y'all tune an X3? Yeah, I don't see why not. We'll just have to check which DME that is if it's compatible. But if it's MSV80 or MSV70, yeah, we could definitely tune it. High class scumbag, thanks, man. I'm not sure if I answered your question or something. You're welcome, I think. I bought mine with headers. There's 2 cats in them, right? Yeah, you have your exhaust manifold cats, and you also have cats in the mid pipe. Which of the tune must I get for N54 intake? If you just put 22 RPD, if you get the 22 RPD tune, there'll be clickable options, and there's only one tune now. There's no stages or anything like that, so just pick what mods you have and type it into the info box. You'll be good. Nick, yo, what's good? What's up? What's up, Nick? Oh, did I just catch up on questions? Nice. I'd never catch up. Have you ever heard of anyone modding the N52 and the E70? I have seen a guy on the N52 page that did like headers and tune and stuff. Yeah. N52 God. Thanks, man. Would 22 RPD ever consider keeping N52 headers in stock? No, probably not. It's kind of just a risk selling like catless stuff like that. And also I did try to organize a group buy from HC Racing years ago. I was like, hey, if I get 20 N52 guys to buy headers all at once, can you give me a discount? And they're like, no. And we're also not going to give you a discount on shipping. So it was really not worth it. And I don't want to drop ship headers and make money off it. I'd rather just tell you guys where to get them. Can y'all tune the 8HP and a Diesel X5? I'm pretty sure, yeah. We do 8HP stuff, so I don't see why not. Just text or call 22RPD or send an email, 22rpd.com. You can get a hold of them. Would you ever design oil dipstick on N52? Yeah, we actually were working on that. I don't know where we got. We kind of got busy, but yeah, we could do that. Which headers would you recommend, AA or Super Sprint? AA, but when I say AA, I mean HC Racing, which are pretty much the same. Super Sprint, I mean, if you're going to be spending that much money, the Super Sprint is technically better because they're equal length and they have a better merge, but they're like almost $2,000. And you can get the AA replicas for $300. So yeah, just get the HC Racing. OG N52 yapper. Yeah, dude, I've been yapping for like an hour now. Yep. Is there any talk about cams that are affordable? No. There's definitely none that are like cheap. The only ones right now are from VAC Motorsports through Schrick, and some people say, well, I should say they're rumored to just be S55 camshafts. So I haven't seen anyone buy them and like dyno it and be like, this is how much they gain in horsepower, and you're spending almost $2,000 on it. So yeah. Okay, ever since the upgrade with the N54, I have a misfire code. Do you think tuning can help with that? So I would fix the misfire before you worry about tuning. The tuning is not going to fix the misfire. Your misfire is most likely from a vacuum leak from the install, and also you need the eccentric spacers so that it lines up and doesn't have a vacuum leak. So go on eBay, look up N54 intake manifold, N52 spacers, something like that, and that's what you need to put in there. Grip slide, dude, you've been yapping for like 2 years about N52. Yeah, I know, dude. RMP had a design, but they're not out publicly as they were racing cams. Yeah, anything race development is super expensive. It takes a lot of R&D and like fabrication. You got to pay your employees and stuff like that. Yeah, racing stuff's expensive. What do you recommend for parts that are affordable on N52s? I'm not laughing at your comment. I'm laughing at Tomas, what you just said. Affordable, go with the HC Racing headers, $300, and then N54 intake manifold, another $50, and then get the 22 RPD tune, and that should be like $1,500, and that'll bring you from like 180 wheel horsepower to like 260, 270. Tomas, my man Tomas, Mr. Tomas. Big Root Beer wants to know your location. Love a good root beer. Bro, are you Georgian? No, I'm Polish Norwegian. I think they're willing to give out specs, but it's up to the person to actually make them from RMP. I guess I could talk to them and see if they'll give the specs. And then we have cam producers. We could have cams produced. But it's kind of a question of like if it's worth the effort, because it's probably going to be like over $1,000, and it's kind of a hard to sell $1,000 for cams for N52s. Nick, I already got the AA headers in tune. Good man. Way to go. Yeah, that's good mods to put on there. N52 community. The King has joined the live. Welcome back, Mr. King. Kurwa dobre Jeholovik. I don't know that last word. That's funny though. Dzień dobry, is that what you're trying to say? Young Lord, what about the metal valve cover? Any suggestions? No. If you want metal, get the magnesium. The aluminum ones are not fitting good anymore. Northwest E90, very true. Yes, indeed. Ordering them AA headers and slapping the 22 RPD tune on this MFA times 3. Good man. You'll be happy with it. It'll be nice. Honestly surprised I caught up to the bottom of these messages. Am I cooked? No, E90, you're fine, dude. Don't worry about your flashing thing. The tuner will send you a recovery file, and then you can try that. If it doesn't work, worst case, you just mail us your DME, and we'll do it for you. Thanks for the update on the dipstick. Would you design velocity stacks on N51? Yeah, we have guys with N51s running them already. They fit. I'm good to them. How do you feel about manual E61 rear-wheel drive drift wagon? I'm about to pick up the shell. Yeah, that'll be sick. Wagons are cool, dude. E61 is going to be super fat. That'll be interesting to drive. I imagine you're gutting it out and removing the 1,000-pound panoramic sunroof, but yeah, that would be pretty cool. How about if you you chop off the whole roof and you just like do a skeleton cage, so it's like a half convertible almost. That'd be cool. Tomas, Jared is N51. Yeah, Jared with the drift car. He's got the velocity stacks and he drifts on them. 7-speed DCT can be fit onto N52. Well, I'm running an N54 Auto Trans on my car, so I know the bell housings can be modified to fit. As for tuning and making it work, I don't see why not. Probably. Are there LSDs for E60? I'm not sure, but you could check the mfactory.com. Would turboing at N52 ever be considerable more for the unique experience? Yeah, plenty of guys run turbos. If you look in the N52 boosted group, there's a bunch of guys running that. When them ITBs dropping for N52, I need them in my life. We're working on it now. We've been super busy at the shop. There's like a dozen projects going on right now. So we're definitely working on it. It's just, I'll definitely release an estimated date as soon as I know. There's just a lot of multitasking going on right now. When are you N54 swapping, Raymond? Never, dude. I will never N54 swap this car. Never, ever. If I wanted to swap an engine in this car, it would be an M50 with a big turbo on it. 5 and a dime. Are my numbers okay? I made 210 wheel on a dyno jet, 325 with 3-stage and stock 3.3 tune. Yeah, 330's dyno at 200 all day. That's perfectly good. How about fuel economy? I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you asking about the supercharger fuel economy? It's kind of hard to say because people ask me fuel economy, like how much I get, and I'm flooring the car all the time. So it's like, or I'm driving in the city. So I drive in the city, the MPG drops down, it looks bad, but then I go on the highway, it's like 26. So I really don't know. I don't keep track of that. Would you be capable of making the DCT swap work on the OEM TCU, or would I have to get aftermarket TCU? That I'm not sure on. Supercharging for the N52 sounds insane, by the way. Great videos, homie. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, too. I made a Discord. I've been getting so many messages lately. Now that the videos have been kicking off, I can't really respond to everyone in a decent amount of time. So I did make a private Discord. Let's see if I can link it in this. And basically the point of this Discord is going to be just like my priority responses, like this live here. If you want to ask me a question, have me answer it like pretty quick and spend time on it. It's just $10 a month, and then that'll be my number one priority. But I'll still keep answering questions like here or Instagram, stuff like that. But if you're in the Discord, you're going to get my full attention. Let's see, where's the link? And yeah, you can like ask me like what exhaust should I do? Should I delete my resonator? Should I do this muffler? Which headers to use? Stuff like that, and that'll be my fastest responses there. Just trying to get the link now. Oh, nice. It looks like I can't put links in this chat. I have it linked in my bio, actually. I think I already did that. So if you wanna join the Discord and get like fast responses and spend time helping you with stuff, you can join in my my Instagram bio. I have a link to that. Let's see. Sorry, dude. Can you repeat your answer about the? Oops, I missed a couple questions. Supercharger kit for N51. Yeah, you can use the N52 kit. 22 RPD. Oh, sorry. I thought you were a different Dom. Yeah, N51, you can use the 22 RPD kit. What's the price of the Supercharger kit you're running now? I have the Stage 3 Supercharger kit. It's $7,500. It has the ESS full kit plus injectors, plus custom tune, plus water meth injection kit, plus smaller pulley, plus spark plugs, plus belt. I think something else too. The N52 B25 handle, the Supercharger kit. I think the rods are thinner on the 2.5, so you could run it, but I would be more conservative. Don't go crazy. Hey Raymond, what's up Bentley? How you doing, bud? How many horsepowers do I have to the wheels? I've got 408 wheel horsepower on 12 PSI right now. Oh, it looks like I can click questions so I don't have to repeat them and they pop up on the screen. I wish I did that earlier. The new ones aren't popping up though. What should my coolant and oil temps be at? What's too hot? The N52 has a electronic thermostat with different maps. If you Google N52 thermostat maps, it'll tell you the range for each mode, but I think they go up to like 220, 230 Fahrenheit. Under 240 Fahrenheit oil is fine too. Can the tunes be uploaded via Mac or only PC? So I use a MacBook, a 2011 MacBook Pro, but I run Windows on it. I think it's Boot Camp. I use Boot Camp to run Windows on it, which is kind of a hassle to install. I'd recommend just borrowing someone's Windows laptop. It'd be a lot easier. And sometimes there's like weird quirks with the MacBook running Windows. Raymond, what's a good price for an N52 with 120k miles? Just the engine. Probably like $400. I paid $600 for my engine with 70k miles, which was kind of a hookup from a friend. It probably was worth more like $1,000. By the way, guys, how's the audio quality on here? I've got the AirPod in, but I don't know if the phone mic would pick me up better. How much do you think something like a 7-speed DCT swap with programming mods would be cost-wise? I'm really not sure. I haven't looked into it. Should my coolant be running at 258F? No, that's too high. You probably got a weak water pump or something. Would strict cams be a good mod with the headers and ITBs? It's tricky because I haven't seen anyone dyno those. Supposedly they're meant for S55, so I don't know. Not sure on that. You could try them and we could tune for them, but it's kind of a lot of money to gamble with no like before and after dyno. Context, 12 psi. Wow, did you have to gap your piston rings to achieve that reliably? No, I haven't opened the motor. I'm trying to keep the intake temps and the EGTs as low as possible to kind of avoid having issues with that. What PSI is the stock ESS pulley? 5.5 PSI. And that makes about 270 at the wheel on a stock car. What else you guys got for me? Baby boost. I need a smaller pulley ASAP. Oh, you've got an ESS kit too? Yeah, we can sell you a whole upgrade kit for that. We have, if you go to 22rpd.com, we've got a kit that'll bump you up to 300 wheel, up to 400 wheel. If you already have the supercharger, it's got a smaller pulley. I think they could include injectors and spark plugs too. The smaller belt and also water meth injection, which you're going to want to run if you bump the boost up a good amount. Do I have to retune after headers? Yeah, you should get a tune for headers because you're moving the oxygen sensor. Best setup for N52 in your opinion? Velocity stacks or supercharger? If you want the best NA you can do, get velocity stacks. If you want more than that, supercharger. Most legit guy in the N52 community. Thanks, man. That's I appreciate you saying that. It's a nice thing to say. I have an ESS V2 on a Z4. Yeah, nice. The Z4s are super light. It's gotta feel fun to drive. Do you suggest the N54 intake over the 3-stage for NA? Generally, yeah, but go to bevautoparts.com and go to the frequently asked questions, and I do a comparison, and you can better find out which one is suited for your application. I saw you make a transmission update. Is it necessary when supercharged? No, I wouldn't have replaced the transmission if it wasn't already worn out. I was already having like some transmission slip before I put the supercharger on. Are you running stock internals? Yes. Do you have to run meth on supercharger or is it PSI dependent? It's definitely PSI dependent. If the stock ESS kit doesn't come with it, and it's fine, but if you're hot lapping it and you're doing back-to-back pulls, it is still going to get hot because there's no intercooler. But what was I going to say? But yeah, if you turn up the boost, it's definitely necessary. I don't know if anyone answered me last time. I can't see it, but are you guys hearing me okay? The audio quality? Yes. Okay, cool. Oh, perfect. Good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. I guess since there's no questions right now, I'll give you guys a little update on my car. I ordered a smaller pulley for the supercharger. I'm at 12 PSI now. I'm probably going to target like 14 PSI and try to make like 430 wheel horsepower or something like that. And I also have an intercooler in the way and try to lower those intake temps a little bit more. So I'm going to try to get kind of like close to like 430, 440 wheel horsepower in that setup. I forget what else, but yeah, going to do an intercooler and a smaller pulley soon, which I'm pretty excited about. What's the affordable scan tool for N52? Get Pro Tool. Pro Tool is an Android app, and they also sell an adapter. If you have a BMW, you should have Pro Tool. You can also code, do any coding, programming, stuff like that. OSAD, I'm still on stock internals. Maddox, I have a N52, did a lot of maintenance. Should I mod it for power with bolt-ons? Yeah, I mean, NA stuff really doesn't affect reliability. Like, get your 22 RPD tune, get headers, get your 330xi, so you already have the intake manifold. Yeah, I mean, it'll make it more fun to drive. You might as well. Any wide body plans? Hard Motorsport is my plan. I like those kits. They look good. I'm not sure. I kind of just bought my wheel and tire setup, and I don't want to run 1-inch spacers, so probably not for a while. Also, I'm broke, so $1,000 or whatever for a wide body kit isn't super feasible. I'm losing 600 milliliters every 2,000 miles. Could that be more than a pan gasket? It's seeping pretty bad, but I'm going to try to do the job. Can I top off the oil without the e-dipstick? Yeah, definitely top that off as soon as the dash tells you to top it off. 600 milliliters, what is that in quarts? I'm not sure. I mean, see if your exhaust smells like oil, check if you're like burning oil or something like that. But if you've got a big oil leak, yeah, it could just be dumping out of there. Tomas, I was on a call, so couldn't hear your reply to DCT swap, but I think it can be done on stock ECUs. Guys, Tomas would know. So if Tomas thinks it can be done, I'm listening to Tomas on that one. So can I run the supercharger on an X3 with no problems? Well, the supercharger is designed for E chassis, E90, E92, E82, and Z4. It should bolt up fine. Check. You can shoot me a DM. Check what DME you have in that car. If it's MSV 80 or MSV 70, it shouldn't be an issue. Dragon times with a supercharger kit, quarter mile. I haven't gotten a good one yet because I just replaced that transmission and I couldn't do a run on the old one. Osad. Hey Raymond, I've been following you since the forum post. I have an FRM critical error issue that won't allow me to code anything. Any advice? You probably just need the FRM repaired, or you can go buy a used FRM and then you can code that one to your car. That's not a huge deal. Context, are you still running MILFs? Yep. Yeah, I never took them out. My heat stopped working recently. Any ideas? No. You kind of got to do a diagnostic on that. What's the best supercharger kit currently for N52 as ESS don't sell that anymore? I'm over here at 22 RPD, and we sell the ESS kits, but an upgraded version of them now. It's the same kits you could get from ESS, but they obviously discontinued it, so we are buying directly from ESS and selling them with our upgrades on them. So you can do 300 to 400 wheel horsepower plus on our kits now. But 22rpd.com, that's where you can get the supercharger kit. Little more than a half a quart every 2,000 miles. I would just keep topping it off. Oil pan gasket sucks to do. It's basically self-changing oil. Just keep topping it off. Did you do LCI swap? Yeah, I did LCI trunk taillights and headlights, and I'm going to do the hood and bumper eventually. Do you know if exhaust has to be modified on E60 to fit headers, or is it direct fit? I know one guy with a 528 rear-wheel drive, and he had to cut off the bottom portion of the header pipe, and he had to weld V-bands on it and then adapt it to the exhaust, so it's a little bit different. Sam, you've got a 2011 E90. It's basically stock. Think about getting headers, engine, cold air, and a tune. Well, the engine's not a cold air intake, really. I used to have it on mine. It kind of pulls in a lot of hot air. I would just do the Turner cold air intake. It actually has a heat shield all the way around. You're thinking about getting the turbo kit from 22 RPD. We don't have a turbo kit right now, but we do have the supercharger kit. And if you do that, you don't have to buy your intake. But yeah, do your headers, do the tune, and I would do the Turner intake. You're not really going to gain much horsepower from the intake though. So best intake manifold for N51. It depends on how you drive. Go to babautoparts.com, look at the FAQ, and it will explain the differences between the two intake manifolds, and you can decide which one's best for you. Maddox 255k mile N52. Can I tune it with no issues? Well, you can tune it. It's not really gonna make a difference with issues, but yeah, I mean 255k miles, you'll probably be having more issues in general. But yeah, I'd still throw a tune on there. It's not gonna make a big difference in reliability. Well, it won't really make any difference in reliability. What do you think about the E82s? I think they handle and they drive awesome, but I don't love how they look compared to E90. Thoughts on turbo N52? It's good. I mean, if you want to make under 500 horsepower, it's nice. And if you can fabricate too, or you've got a friend that will fabricate for you for cheap, turbo kits pretty cheap to make. You could probably do it for like $1,500, maybe probably closer to 2,000 in parts if you can weld. Turner Motorsports intake, right, with the heat shield. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If you go on my YouTube, RAIMUND N52, I did post a video comparing all the intake options. Easy mods for 528i, 22 RPD tune. It doesn't get easier than that. .330i has been sitting for 3 years outside. Do you know what I could do to help her start? Dead battery. I would do an oil change first off, just to be safe. You probably need to drain the fuel at that point and put new gas in it too. 3 years is a long time. Obviously throw a new battery in there too. But other than that, it should fire up if you do those things. But yeah, I probably wouldn't try to start it up on 3-year-old fuel and oil. Tomas, FRM dead for sure. You talking about that guy earlier that was having an issue? Or you're talking about Maddox? Any difference between a 330 and 328 power? Yeah, the 330 makes a lot more power. It has a more aggressive tune and the 3-stage intake manifold. Oh, Tomas, you're talking to Maddox. Yeah, so if Tomas says your FRM's dead, it's going to be dead. So you might need to replace that too. Have you ran into the hood being stuck? Whenever I pull the latch, it doesn't open. No, I haven't had that happen. Might have broken the cable. In final production of the trumpets, will there be a filtered version? In final production of the trumpets, will there be the filtered option for a place in filter box for daily ability? Oh, so you're saying if you can still use the stock air box with the velocity stacks? Probably not. The filter version would be like a flat panel filter. If you go on 22 RPD's Instagram and you look at the M5 with the velocity stacks, it would be kind of like that. Probably take like 2 more questions and then I gotta keep going. CSL style box with the trumpets. We could absolutely do that. We could literally do that. It would just be really expensive. How much is the 22 RPD Supercharger? It's $6,500 for the level 1 kit, and for the level 2 or level 3 kit, it's $7,500. What maintenance would you do around 120K? Oil change, air filter, cabin filter, spark plugs, coil packs, water pump, thermostat, radiator hoses, transmission fluid, transmission pan if you're ZF, and brake fluid. After stage 2 AA 3-stage intake tune, what's another NA power mod? Headers, and you'll have to get retuned for headers. I'll pay it, homie. Okay, yeah. Send me a DM, and we could probably get you a quote on that. I got headers as well. Well, at that point, dude, you can only do weight reduction or add some boost. And if you're on 91 octane, you can get more power by going to 93 and getting tuned for it, or E85. But you need injectors if you do E85. What cams do you have in yours? I really want that chop. I have stock cams. It's just the Ghost Cam tune from 22 RPD. Yeah, stock cams. All right, guys, I got to get going, but appreciate y'all joining and hanging out for a bit. I'll probably do another live at some point soon, but y'all have a good night. Peace.